As we sit here this evening, we call upon the sacred light of Source, the divine masculine and divine feminine, and we call upon the ascended masters during this 11:11 portal. Ascended masters, we ask that you join us in our sacred space this evening to give us messages about the ascension process and how we can integrate the ascension and light codes that we receive. We call all beings of the highest light and vibration to also join us here in this space, surround us in divine love and protection. We call upon Archangel Michael, Hanuman, and Naisimha to join us and protect us in our space. Ascended Masters, anything you would like us to know for collective healing and for the collective ascension, please bring through this evening and allow us to understand how we can integrate that knowledge and wisdom and anything else you have to share with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, the sacred circle is now open. Namaste.
I'm seeing a snowy trail. It actually seems like it's Antarctica, maybe. I see very, very blue skies, though, and just an expanse of whiteness and a trail that is that it's been impacted in the snow by, a plow or something. No trees, I don't think. Maybe a couple far, far off somehow. I don't really know how, because it feels like it could potentially be, center of a frozen body of water. But I do feel a presence as well. Feels like a deity of some kind, but connected to, for some reason, a seal keeps coming through. I don't know. Very bright. The sun is shining off the snow, and that's all I have right now.
It's really interesting that you got snow right away, because Spirit's showing me, as Jacqueline was opening, a white room, and everything's like white on white. The floor is white. All of the walls are light except for one wall, which has like some sort of mural, like a large photograph blowing up on the wall. And it looks like it's a shot of a whole bunch of like pine trees in a forest, and it feels like it's like very deep wilderness. And I'm seeing in the middle of the room on the platform a nest, but the nest is made out of all white twigs and white feathers, and it's really textured and made of all different kind of clumpy white things. And in it are eggs. And I'm getting, as you were talking about seeing the animal, I was seeing a very large polar bear that had been sitting on the eggs. It doesn't make sense how this large polar bear could sit on the eggs and they wouldn't break, but that's what was happening. And I'm seeing tiny little black and white snakes hatch out of the eggs. They're really tiny and they're very little. I honestly don't even know if snakes hatch, but they're hatching out of eggs. And there's like many of them in each egg. So there's got to be at least 30 or 40 snakes in this like bird's nest in the middle of this really white room. And there's this artificial sort of like mural on the wall, like the kind you see like when you enter in museums and things like that. And I also have a feeling of the air being really crisp and tight, and like just really fresh. It just feels very fresh to me, and the energy is kind of electrically charged. That's all I'm getting for now.
I see, I'm in that room, it's white, I have a window that's open, and you were saying the air, I clean, feels very clean. And I see a variety of animals that I don't know if they want me to follow them, or I'm feeling safe though. It feels very clean and almost safe, but that sun is bright over the mountains. So I feel like I'm in a similar location. I just feel that the air, I see the mountains, the bears, the sun off the tops of the mountains is really glistening, very bright. It's like follow the light. And that's what I see right now.
As Jacqueline was opening, I started to feel like I was in what I heard to be a sacred grove, and I could feel, I could see the warm colors, very like earth tone palette of warm browns and beiges, and there was a tree. It was not very green, but more wooden, and it looked like had a lot of branches, and inside the tree there were chakras, and I could see especially the solar plexus. And I get a sense of, I can't identify whether it's the proper one is crocodile or alligator, but it gives me the feeling of the deity Sobek. That's all, thanks.
I also have a tree, and it did look like it was like a snowed, like the tree looks like a pine, and it does have like snow on it, but the animal that I saw on it was like a large bird. I'm not sure if it's a falcon or an owl, but I can just see the eyes of the bird, like he's looking at something. He's just kind of like observing from the tree. That's all that I have now.
When you were opening the circle and brought in ascended masters, I got very immediately image of Jesus and a message of being here right now to make peace, very strongly and very repetitively. And then an image of sheets of paper and making origami and taking something so flat and plain white and transforming it into animals, into cranes to represent peace, or different animals. It was paper being folded into something. That's all I have for now.
So I'm seeing this scene of a little, it's not quite a creek, not a river, but a stream of water. And I'm also picking up on like the winter time because the water is completely frozen. And I'm in this wooded land, but there's a big clearing where there are houses. So I'm standing right in front of this body of water that's frozen, and I can see in the distance, maybe a quarter mile from where I'm standing, there's a pretty decent sized house that's white. And behind it are just large area of woods. But what I'm seeing right in front of me is this body of water and this tree that's across the water. And this tree has to be hundreds and hundreds of years old. Like if I wrapped my arms around it, I could probably only get halfway or a quarter of the way. Its trunk is very big. And right in front of the tree on the other side of this water is a woman, and she's wearing a black cloak with a hood, and she has the hood up. And as soon as I came into the scene, I saw her staring at me from across the river, and her eyes are glowing yellow. And I had this moment of like, I saw her and I saw her looking at me. And immediately I was like, okay, well, what's your message? I felt like I needed to cross this water, this frozen ice, to get to her. But then somehow I got caught up in my head, like, how do I do that? Like I was caught up in how. And I'm like, should I cross this body of water, even though it was very narrow? Like it was not a big deal to go across it. It wasn't like a huge river, covered in ice. But I knew it was still very slippery. So I was looking at her and I was trying to get some kind of answer, and she wasn't moving. She wasn't doing anything. And telepathically, I couldn't get anything from her. So I looked to my left, and I saw like a little ways down was this bridge that was made of wood. And so I thought to myself, well, that's safer than crossing the ice. So I walked over to it, and as soon as, not even as soon, but like right before I walked up to it, it crumbled right in front of me, the whole bridge. I didn't even step on it, it just crumbled. And I said to myself, okay, now I have to backtrack and go back to the ice. And it was this message for me of like, okay, we have to I literally just like leapt. I took a leap over the ice because I was like, I don't think it's going to be that far to get over. And I knew if I stepped on the ice, I would just slip away. So I took this leap, and as soon as I did, the ground that was like right between the tree and the ice, like it just fell into the earth. And so I grabbed onto the tree for support, like a branch on the tree. And, I was trying to get my footing, but there wasn't much earth to stand on between the tree and the frozen water. But as soon as I said to myself, I'm like, okay, well, this is clearly a message about grounding, really holding on to nature and being grounded when we're doing this kind of ascension, because it is a very, it takes you out of body. And as soon as I said that to myself, the woman, I realized actually before this, I realized that the woman was frozen also, because she was just giving me the stare and she wasn't moving. There was no expression on her face. And I said, oh, okay, she's also frozen. And again, her eyes were yellow. So I don't know who it was who brought through the solar plexus a minute ago, but I definitely feel this is connected to the solar plexus, this energy. But I feel like, doing the work with the solar plexus, because that is, the chakra right before the heart, the meeting place of the spiritual and the physical. I feel like it's really important to ground. And as soon as I said that to myself, she unfroze and she walked away. I want to see if she continues, if spirit keeps this vision, if they have anything else to say with it, but that's all for now.
I'm getting a certain sense. Where I've been, because now I'm being told about Maya, like the Mayans, and in Egypt, like these pyramids. I feel like I'm also being shown in the cold terrain. There is a pyramid there too, and I'm feeling like I'm being shown pyramids around the planet that almost have a chakra-like function to their structures and layout. That's all. Thanks.
I was seeing coming out of the edge of the tree two figures, and as they moved closer and closer to the river, they were like they had snow gear on and backpacks, and I realized it was a man and a woman approaching the river. And as they got to the point to cross it, like I saw the river, but I never saw a bridge or anything. They they took out of their backpack and put on these sort of, I don't know what the name for them is, but they're kind of like shoes that you strap onto the boots that you have, and they have little like metal things on the bottom. I think they're shoes that you use for like ice or like climbing or trekking in ice to make it easier, or snow or difficult terrain. And they put those on and they just head right across the river and like literally just, kind of like not even stopping to look or to test the water or anything. They just go right over the ice and they're able to make it across. And I feel like as soon as they make it across, then out of the line of the between the open space and where the forest ends, a whole bunch of people come, and everybody is also has backpacks and snow gear on, and it's almost like a swarm of people. There's like hundreds and thousands of people just crossing the river. And as I'm sharing this right now, and ever since the solar plexus was brought up easier, I had this like weird sort of feeling in my stomach, like my body is physically feeling kind of heavy, and I can feel it all concentrated in my solar plexus area. And it feels like somehow this energy that I'm feeling is connected to what's happening. And I don't know who's saying, but they're saying, once people start going for it, like they really start going for it and they start going across the river and just trusting that they're going to make it to the other side, that opens what like resembles some sort of floodgate. And it's just like they're saying that, we just, that the river is like a metaphor for just going for it, just like gunning for it, and trusting that you're going to make it to the other side. That's all I'm getting right now.
Can I share something?
Yeah, please.
I felt like I was getting I was feeling very connected to Mother Earth and getting a message from the goddess that there are beings from other dimensions that are present on this planet and have been before humans were, and they're very concerned right now with protecting the human species on this earth, and that's why they're coming to visit. And I'm getting a message from Mother Earth. It's almost like she's asking for help and protection. And I just felt the need to send her healing. And I felt like I was getting that message from the Ascended Masters as well. And just beings of from other dimensions who are concerned with our existence as a species. Hello.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Actually, as you were speaking, and you were saying that Mother Earth is, asking for protection, something that I saw, is that I feel like she's asking, like I was seeing sacred geometry, in the color yellow specifically being put around her as like a shield. I feel like she's asking for protection like that. That's all for now.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say that's all for now.
It's okay.
I'm getting the message that we are more effective journeying together for a purpose, a collective purpose. Um, and we are much more effective, and there's nothing we can't do together to heal. We can heal anything on this planet, and we're so much stronger together to do that. And I saw a vision of just, it felt like peace and love and community, and there were animals, you know, the deer, the eagle in the sky, the sun is shining, the sky is blue, and it feels so peaceful and beautiful. And while I'm here, I'm hearing that we have the power to create heaven on earth. We are in the age of Aquarius. We're free to create and imagine whatever that is for us, whatever heaven on earth is for each one of us. We can create that. The time is now. That's all I'm getting. Thanks.
Jenna or Gina, I just wanted to share that get this strong feeling that you are being called to either write the intellectual ideas that are coming through, or to actually write down to channel and write what's coming through as you channel about the earth, about the healing that you feel is coming or is required. I feel that there's somehow the words need to be on the page, and it's both for you and for the actual process of the healing. It feels important. And I don't know that necessarily means something that's published or not. That's not really the point. Although, of course, that's something that is a draw for anyone who is making the effort to write, right? But
yes, and thank you for sharing that, because I actually just started writing out my affirmations today. I would always speak them, but I started journaling them.
okay. Yeah,
So I'll start journaling that too. Thank you. I've always had a very strong connection to her, actually. My very first experience ever meeting a shaman when I was a teenager, she told me that I was a very, very, very old soul, but I can ascend, but I choose to keep coming back to our Mother Earth because I love her so much. I love the trees. So I keep choosing to come back.
Yeah, create the symphony of those feelings and the thoughts and the words that come through on the page. I feel it will progress that healing that you're talking about by doing it. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I was also okay. I was also seeing a river, and all the way up to the banks of it were filled with snow. And I asked, what is the snow theme? What's the river theme that seems so present here? And I got the rivers about flow. Go now, even if the journey is uncomfortable. There's flow, there's a path. And also a message that the outside of what was, whatever we lived in, the reality before, is frozen. It's frozen in place so that we can move through and we can move into this other place. And in my mind, I said, what is this other place? Where are we headed? And it said, spring awaits. And that's all I have for now.
I started seeing also the frozen river and the big tree. And I stood there because I didn't know like what to do. It caught my attention that the tree had like a really big cross in it, but it was kind of like in the bark itself. I didn't know what that meant, and I just stood there like looking at it. And right now, how I feel is like my breasts have been like getting bigger, like a person that is like pregnant and ready like um to feed their baby. But I don't have a baby. I just feel my breasts are like heavy and my stomach is like kind of growing, like preparing, I guess, like for that. I see a lot of yellow light, but it's liquid. I don't know how to explain it. Like I see a lot of yellow, but it almost feels like it's water being thrown that is like golden like that. That's all I have for now.
It's interesting, Angela, that you were feeling, the sensation in your breast and stomach. I was also, when I was experiencing the stomach energy before, was feeling like it reminded me of the feeling of being pregnant, but like at the end, like right at the end of pregnancy, right? Right as it's, in the final few weeks, that sort of fullness and that sort of just, yeah. Spirit's showing me the sun shining down on this sort of frozen landscape with the trees, and it's like so strong to the point that I can like feel it on my face. But they're saying something about all of the people who have crossed the river and who are crossing the river are sending light up. So there's like sun shining down onto the earth, and then there's light coming up from all of us, and it's meeting on the horizon to create this sort of like just brilliant sort of explosion of light that's going both up into outer space and both down into the earth. And it's something about that union of light that goes both ways that's opening. Like it feels like the horizon's just opening, like everything's just opening up. And it's almost like the feeling of, even though this isn't a mirror, the feeling like I can walk into the mirror, or I can walk into the horizon, and it feels like there's a door on the horizon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It actually looks like a triangle that has been open, and it's almost like you can see a space through it. Just in the middle of all this like whiteness, like the river, the frozen river, like everything around, and I just see that triangle, like a door opening, and it's just like the universe, like you can see the universe through there.
Wanted to sorry, are you I don't want to
Yes, I'm down.
I wanted to say that clarifies certain things that I've been feeling, because when Dana, around the same time you mentioned that your stomach started feeling a certain sensation, I started noticing a feeling in my body as well. That's something I couldn't identify with. It was very unusual for me, but I felt like through a certain type of yellowy orangey energy, I was being retuned. Like it's like someone was turning the dial on a radio, and then my frequency was starting to become a little more astral. Then what I was seeing was a star, and it started to occur to me that it feels like Sirius is trying to connect in, because I see that there is a pyramid on the planet that mirrors almost like a shining star. It's almost like the way the shining star appears, is like a pyramid in the sky, and they both mirror each other. And I'm being shown that right now there's like a portal open between that pyramid and it could, the only thing I've been hearing is Sirius. And what I've been told is like those who are willing or agree to step forward, almost they go out of tune physically and become a type of orangey yellow energy, and then they kind of like go through this portal to Sirius. It's like or it's just it's an exchange. It's like an equal exchange right now. That's all. Thanks.
I'm seeing fire, and then I was seeing this Native American shaman, and he is outside at nighttime, and he has a stick, a fire stick, and there's a little fire that he made on the ground. And he takes the stick with a fire on one end and he starts twirling it around, and then he blew on it. He twirled it maybe 3 times and then he blew. And I was just watching him for a while and seeing, okay, what are you doing here? And then he says, you need to breathe life into it. And then he handed me a stick. And I put it in the fire, lit the fire, and I did the same as him. I twirled it and then I blew on it. And as soon as I did that, there was darkness all around us. All I could see was him in the fire. And as soon as I blew on this fire, I saw something in front of me, but it was very quick because the fire just lit it for a second. And so I kept going, I kept blowing little by little. And then all of a sudden, I heard, I definitely know it was Thoth coming through. He's a very prominent guide for me. And I heard him say, it's kind of like, well, where are we going? What is this? And he said to me, the halls of Amenti. And as soon as I heard him say that, he said to me, let the light guide your way. And then he said, you're going into the halls of Amenti. And so I followed this fire and this light, little by little, the light was, coming from the fire. But it was almost like I had to keep reigniting, just keeping the flame alive, rather. And then I could see, I've been in this space before in the halls of Amenti that he speaks of with him. And I went into this one chamber where is kind of like the resurrection chamber, he calls it. But the fire took a form, and it was not exactly fire. It was almost as if like someone had painted fire along the one wall and then up onto the ceiling. And I was following it. And what I kind of started to notice was that a dragon energy was coming through. I'm just seeing if I have any other notes. Yeah, that's all I'm seeing for right now. But I feel like this dragon is another spirit animal guide here to help us and guide us on this light path forward. That's all for now.
Earlier talking, I saw a dragon that started off very white and then turned, in the outline of the dragon became purple, and it started to blow white out, and it wasn't negative. It was very much trying to put a blanket or a shield or something. But I saw a dragon doing similarly.